You're tuned in to Shake, Rattle, and Goal, the official podcast of your Springfield Thunderbirds.
Pekka's there on the backhand, scoring the save, rebound in the crease, they score!
Hosted by Matt Baker and Steve Forney. A show that's everything Springfield hockey, with interviews including players, coaches, and staff.
The Springfield Indians repeat as the Calder Cup champions.
Listen to this podcast on all major streaming platforms and wherever you download podcasts.
In his first year at the helm, Kevin McDonald and Drew Bannister have the T-Bird in the Calder Cup Finals.
Watch the podcast on the official Shake, Rattle, and Goal YouTube page at SRG Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Matt Baker and Steve Forney.
And this episode number 24 of Season 3 of the Shake, Rattle, and Goal podcast is proudly brought to you by our friends at the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning. You can learn more about them at the tdsspeech.com. That's tdsspeech.com. By the Mascon United Training Center in Agawam. They are at mcutrainingcenter.com. And by the man that I will be seeing at my house very shortly on my Ring cameras, making my lawn look beautiful, Landscaping That Fits, and Rob at landscapingthatfits.com. Alongside Matt Baker, I'm Steve Forney. Matt, how are you?
We are here. We are here. we are well. We are here. That is how I'm doing.
Man, dude,
how about you? How about you?
It's like there are people that are older than us that get it, and there are people that are younger than us that will soon get it. But I think people don't realize, even like for a teacher's perspective, like the winter hits so hard and everybody complains about January and February. March is a slog. Oh, getting through the month of March is insanely difficult. It's not yet spring, but still winter, but the kids don't want to be, it's just a brutal month. And oh, by the way, now we're like, Matt's got lacrosse and soccer ramping up. We already got baseball practices, which I literally have to coach because there's not enough coaches. And it's just, oh my, it's just, when can we find the time? So yes, you have two cranky, ornery, exhausted hosts on a podcast episode, which should be relatively lighthearted.
Which is actually going to probably brighten my mood. Yeah.
If the team was playing like this in the whimsy of Christmas, boy, wouldn't have those been good episodes. Instead, all we did was complain about the team. Now I'd love to complain, but I don't want to complain because the team's playing well and we're doing great. So we're going to give you at the very least an entertaining podcast today, because we're in a special spot here. So we do want to get into the games. I am most excited this weekend about a reunion with Sam Bitten. I can't wait to see this guy, but I think I kind of want to start there, Matt.
Sure.
I understand we've had these conversations, like when it comes to these trades, like did the player want it? Did the team want it? How did this all shake out? And I don't know the answers to any of that, but when I look at, you trade Sam and Corey Schooneman back in November, that's fine. You know, you have Cale Kessie, who I would still, I think, rather have Sam over the two of them. I still kind of shake my head here at the Matt Luff trade. As I look at the standings right now, and I think that, and with all due respect to Julien Gauthier, who's been putting up better numbers since that move, who has helped their team more since that move, like that just seems, you trade Pekka, like maybe that's an internal thing that I don't know anything about. At least he's out of the division. You trade Matt Luff to Bridgeport, and here they are on a run, and you're chasing them. And it's like, man, like, wouldn't that have been nice? So, again, we've talked a lot about the roster changeover and things like that, but I look at the roster here and I like it. But man, wouldn't it be nice, when you're losing 2-1 on a Wednesday to Providence, to just have a guy who can score at will that's not here. And I don't know why I want to start there. That's one of those things that's just kind of been scratching behind my ear for the last like week or so. It's just like, man, imagine if we had 39 out there on the power play. Imagine if, again, the power play wasn't great this weekend. They got their points, but it wasn't great. And they're on like a big over streak.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice?
10,
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have a guy like Matt Luff here? And again, if you trade him to Grand Rapids, I don't care, but you send him to Bridgeport, like right. It's going to happen that we're going to meet up at Bridgeport. And wouldn't it be, as a fan of sports, wouldn't it be fun, based on the recent news, if Bridgeport went on a long run and sent their fans out with some really, really good, entertaining, successful playoff hockey, as long as they don't beat my team? But wouldn't it be nice, man, that between man, I work for the Connecticut Sun. Between the Connecticut Sun leaving and now Bridgeport's leaving, man, Connecticut's going through it. And I feel for their fan base. I feel for the people of Connecticut and what they're losing in both of those franchises. Just as long as it doesn't affect me, wouldn't it be nice to see Bridgeport be kind of successful for once on their way out the door? I'm sort of kind of pulling for them, and I don't want to, but I kind of hit that feeling a little bit.
That's fair. and the fan of sport would 100% have to agree with you on that. Bridgeport for being so bad for so long, and then, to have a nice run here. I do agree with you though, and not to, rip open a Band-Aid again and all that, but I agree in even trading at the time, Sam and Corey in division, I always feel like, and to be fair, I always come into as a football fan, or
Sure.
That's my one true passion, my one true love. You never trade a player in division unless you absolutely rob it, right? So if here you are, Bridgeport, and you're looking for a playoff push, and here we are, Springfield at the time, on the outside looking in, not a whole lot of hope. A lot of things would have to fall in our favor for it to work. Sure, we make the trade, but you better win it, right? And this is no knock on Julien Gauthier, who I think has been great, who had a great goal, had a great weekend. But you're right. Did we win? Did we steal that trade? Again, we don't know if there were things on the inside. We don't know. And I'm just going to completely speculate hypothesize the situation here. I have no idea if this is at all true, but Matt Luff was the leading goal scorer on our team. And again, not knocking Matt Luff, but I said this after he got traded, let's not forget, he was a castaway from the Checkers before he came to Springfield. He was released by them. He didn't even make their club. So this isn't a guy who is year in and year out just kicking the door down. He's having a good year by default. Does his style of play fit into what Steve Ott truly envisioned and wanted to have happen? So all those things, look, does that mean good players or make teams bad? No, right? At the end of the day, you need talent, you need players. So I'm with you. I wish you could look at that and say we won, we dominated that trade. I don't know if you can say that with Luff. I don't think you can say that with the Pekka trade. But again, at least he's out of our division. Getting rid of Sam for future considerations. I hate Corey Schooneman for Callie Rosen.
Callie Rosen's been good. Yeah, he's
Callie
been
Rosen,
good.
No, and again, I think for Sam, he just needed a fresh start. So if he's disgruntled, and like I said, he's a great guy, a nice guy, but I think he wanted. And again, here I am again speculating. I have no insight to this. I did not have a conversation with Sam, but did he want to continue to be the fourth line enforcer, or did he want a different role? And does that happen after you have your eye socket broken and you're like, all right, I want a different type of role? And I get if he felt stuck here in Springfield as I'm a fourth line guy, enforcer, and if I'm not fighting, that's all my fans expect from me, and I want something so I get it. And so
at the same time though, wouldn't you expect Friday night Springfield to start Kessie, Hershey to start Sam Bitten, and the two of them go at center ice?
I think so.
How do you not? You know what I mean?
Is it Kessie or is it Peterson? Is it Skinner?
Yeah, right. Is it
Burns, who doesn't
Quentin
have
Burns
as much of a relationship with Bitten?
Sure.
That would just be awesome, and that would be exciting. He's a guy. I know he got off to a lightning fast start in Hershey. Did Sam Bitten with 2 goals in 3 games or whatever it was, but since then I don't think there's much.
He slowed down big time.
So he, again, I'm not knocking it. So again, I just don't like future considerations because I don't know what that means.
Well, we're in the future and we still don't have those.
I think it just means like, hey, we'll put a Post-it on it, Hershey, and when you have a player that's disgruntled, you send them to us and we call it even. Like, is that really all what future considerations are? Maybe. We still don't know what future considerations we got from Subban. So it's just a placeholder.
So true.
That's the part I don't get. But if it made the player happy, like, I don't have to like it. If that's what Sam Bitten, he wanted out, he wanted his fresh start, and Hershey had, they were looking for Schoenemann and whatever, so I wish we quote unquote won the trades more. And now at this point in the season, there's enough hindsight to look back and say, I don't know if we necessarily won any trades other than what we have now in that locker room seems like a very cohesive, tight, not to sound corny, but like just a well-oiled machine kind of thing, right? Sure. So did we win in that aspect? I guess you can say, sure. It's frustrating that it took the length of a season. And I said this earlier after you traded Pekka, like, you have to have more foresight as a GM and a front office, both your NHL club and your AHL club, to figure out what you want your locker room makeup to be. You shouldn't be figuring it out. You're what's this, like, you're trying to walk while you're running or whatever it is, right? So I don't like that, but we can't complain how this team is playing as of late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their last 7 wins. You got an overtime loss in there, 2 losses to the Wild, which was a bad week. But they're playing playoff winning percentage hockey through March and since the middle of February, they're playing winning hockey.
Right. So which is good. And that's all you're looking for. And even like planning for the playoffs, like, you can't have, as far as I'm concerned, in playoff hockey, you can't have too many defensemen. So if you're going to let go of Matthew Pekka, at least you got a guy that in Wyatt Newpower that can play every night or be stashed away for an injury, because if you want a long playoff run, injuries are going to happen. So there is that. And I do, talk about winning. You give me Schoenemann for Calle Rosen straight up, and I haven't checked Schoenemann's numbers. I'll bet Calle Rosen wins that trade. So you do have that. The one kind of concern that I have, and you were sort of talking about the Luff trade, was I hope this isn't. I despise analytics in sports. It's why I don't watch baseball anymore, because they just put stuff into a computer and it spits something out, and then I guess we got to go to the relief pitcher who's a right-handed because we're playing a lefty. Like, oh my God, it's just like, shut up and play baseball. And a lot of teams are running their organizations that way, and so I hope what we're not doing is punching into the computer a 30-year-old castaway, like you said, in Matt Luff, for a 24-year-old first-round pick, and the numbers say that you're going to be. Oh God, what do your eyeballs tell you, right? Like, what are your and again, this is no slight to Julien Gauthier. It's not about him. It's about the approach, and I hope that the approach is not spitting out numbers from a computer. So you're right, though. I think this roster is in a really good spot. Considering the call-ups, considering you don't have Stenberg, Theo Lindstein is a guy who I was super down on like 3 months ago, and now he just got his first AHL goal, or NHL goal. So, the roster is built in a way you're relatively healthy. The roster is kind of built in a way where you're going to succeed. And you look at a team like Providence, it's like, well, yeah, you played really well against Providence over the weekend. Well, they didn't. Fabian Lysell is out with a concussion. Frederick Brunet, who is an NHL defenseman, and I'm shocked has not been called up by Boston, is an NHL defenseman. He's been on the shelf for a little while. So we've been hurt all year. We're healthy for the most part. Providence isn't. And so, maybe that's a part of it too. But you're right. I think that we're in a great spot. I think the locker room's tight. The coaching staff knows what they're doing. They're all on the same page. Wagner, I think, loves being a captain, just freaking loves it. You can tell by the way he plays. And And remind me to go back to the Riley Tufte Chris Wagner fight the other night, because I want to give Ryan props because he just absolutely crushed the call. He was so spot on. Ryan had a great weekend. He was Ryan Smith versus Matthew Patra is the best rivalry in sports right now. Yes. Oh my God, it's like the best. Anytime Ryan's talking about Matthew Pat, I know, but it's so funny to hear him say it. And he does it with like class. Yeah. So much classier than I'm yelling off my couch. You know what I mean? Like Ryan's just so classy with it. But so yeah, I mean, if we go back, you know, they had the 2-1 loss on Wednesday night against Providence. I think that they had a really hard time. I think they felt a little overwhelmed with what Providence was giving them. You know, again, they gave up 40+ shots. Will Cranley was an animal, an absolute animal. And, you know, we've been talking about that, what has gotten this team to that point. This point, it's goaltending. I mean, who would have thought that between Cranley, Romanov, and Zarenko, we would be sitting here being like, man, this goaltending trio, when their number is called, and I haven't heard any complaints. I don't think Romanov's taken to Twitter complaining about how many lack of starts he's gotten. Yep. So I think that these three guys, really, you build from the back out, and you have three guys that not only can you rely on, but the team is confident playing in front of. And I think that that's what, it sounds weird, but like that's what leads to you giving up 25 shots compared to 40. Yeah. Like if you don't trust your goal, you don't want to give up 40 shots, but somehow, some way you do. Why? I don't know. When you feel the confidence of the guy behind you, now you're only giving up 25 shots because you're playing confident, because you're confident in that guy. I don't know. It's weird. It's like a weird psychological thing. But it's what's happening right now. And, you know, I think that especially that Lehigh Valley game, they just felt the confidence in their game and what they were doing. Yeah.
I think for me, looking at this week in a whole is really what's giving me, and I'm going to say this. We talked about this in last week's episode. What are the chances that they're in the playoffs, right? And I couldn't give you a number percentage because I don't do percentages.
I don't do math. Out.
Math ain't math in here. No. But after this weekend, the loss to Pravi and how they lost, then the win against Lehigh Valley and the win against Providence and how those wins happen, I do have confidence to at least say I expect them to be in the playoffs. I expect them to be in the playoffs. It is my expectation. They're not there yet. They're in the 6th seed by winning percentage point. That's it. But Lehigh Valley has more wins, right? It's just a winning percentage piece that gives them the edge. And we talked about this, the teams ahead of them, or the teams that they're playing in the schedule, if you don't make it, it's on you. And so where they're sitting right now, I have confidence. You pointed this out. You give up 41 shots or whatever it was to Providence Wednesday night.
That sounds right.
Cranley plays out of his mind. You, as the Thunderbirds, I think they had something like, I have the other games pulled up here. I don't have Wednesday night's game pulled up.
I got it right here. What do you need?
Like 25 shots.
Yeah, 26. Yeah, 41 to 26. Yep.
So
outshot 15-11 in the third period, right, which isn't bad.
If you just said, well, offensively, I mean, if you got 25 shots, all right, low-ish. Like I said, I like to be around 10 a period. But if you got 26 shots at the course of the goal, it's not bad. But in context, when you're giving up 41, makes it look really bad. Mm-hmm. That being said, you were so in this game because of Cranley. The first goal, if I'm not mistaken, was like a tic-tac-toe kind of bing, bang, boom.
It was pretty, yeah.
And then the second goal, Quentin Burns makes a bad play, turns the puck over right at the blue line. So he's trying to spin away from a hit, loses the puck, and whoever it was had that breakaway and beat Cranley.
Schmaltz,
so
yeah.
Neither one of those goals I felt were like, oh, Cranley, you got to make that save. He played the way he's supposed to play, and you just needed, and that's what I'm looking for now is with this team. Do they make the corrections after a mistake? They are still learning. When you got guys like Quentin Burns making that type of mistake in a playoff hockey atmosphere, he comes around and the next time he plays, he's playing fine. He's not making those mistakes again. So this is what I mean where I'm saying I have confidence. You get dominated against Providence Wednesday, and you're still in it. And Coach Ott, and I like it, was not a fan of how they played, right? Like, and he called the team out. That was unacceptable, Wednesday's performance. And they come back on Friday night, and the team ahead of them, they dominate them 5-3, getting goals. Dubé, Wagner, Kastamaki, Karchik, Hugh McGing, which is nice to see him get a tally. You get great goaltending on Saturday. You outshoot Lehigh Valley 32-21, and you straight up dominate them in Pennsylvania. So that the turnaround there, that tells me that from a head coach standpoint, from a player standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, the right strings are being pulled and the team responds to them. That was a gripe I had when everything is always fluffy and, in the public interviews, when a coach tries to make everything smell like roses and you as a fan are watching like, dude, it wasn't good. Don't tell me it was good, right? Coach Ott, he's going to tell you how it is. And whatever strings he's pulling, the team is responding to. And so that's where they're not going to win the rest of their games. It would be great if they do, if the Thunderbirds do, but they're not. But I have confidence that it's right. But what will get them out of the playoffs is a lengthy losing streak. And I have no reason to think that's a thing right now, based on their schedule, based on their home games, their away games, who they're playing. I don't see a lengthy losing streak in there. So mistakes will happen, hiccups will happen. They'll respond accordingly. And that's what they did this weekend.
Yeah, the only reason why I would think there would be some sort of hiccup is because by the time the playoffs roll around, this team would have been playing playoff hockey for about a month and a half already. Yeah. And you should be able to take that momentum and have it energize you and bring you further. For some players, some teams, that wears on you, and eventually you the high wears off and you sort of wear down a little bit. But you're absolutely right. And I think that their ability to play their game was to me the difference, especially that Lehigh Valley game. Like, again, I every episode I go back to November, but they outshot Lehigh Valley 9-2 in the second, and they only got one goal, and they were only up 2-1. Real quick in the third period, all of a sudden, boom, it's 2-2. That team would have fallen apart. They would have lost 7-2 in November. And not only did they score the next three, but they were in full control in the third period. And that was a bananas third period, by the way. That was just goals, penalty, game had everything. And one of the things that I think is interesting is I look at a team like Lehigh Valley. They don't have, I know I mentioned this to you in the text, but oh my goodness, the captain, Garrett Wilson. Thank you.
Yep.
He gets his first call up, and good for him. It felt like this team was playing, because I think Garrett Wilson is probably their biggest enforcer. If there's business that needs to take care of, it's Garrett Wilson doing it. And so this team was skating around playing hockey as if Garrett Wilson was there to bail them out of physical altercations. And they were like, well, where is
he?
Where is he? He's not here. And I think that they just got caught up in that game, and they weren't able to answer and respond. And they psyched themselves out of that third period. I really kind of think, knock on wood, just saying it, I think Lehigh Valley's kind of a hot mess right now. But you know what? That's what happens. Two teams that lost their captain. How did they respond? Springfield's responded well. Lehigh Valley's having a tough time. So I do think that is in consideration a little bit there as well. But the Thunderbirds were able to play their brand of hockey, and they weren't stupid about it. That game could have got out of hand. We could have had line brawls. We could have everything else. And they stayed, for all the Steve Ott physicality, punch him in the face, punch him in the mouth. They stayed home. They recognized the situation. They recognized the game, the score, everything else about it. And they took care of business, which was awesome. The only real gripe I have was the Providence game, where you had them. You had them at 4-0, and before you know it, it's 4-2, and you're like, Like, I know it's late, but late. And it was late, but even that one, their ability to frustrate Providence, they play a brand of hockey that frustrates their opponents. And that was 2 games in 3 days where I thought, man, they are pissing this team off, and there's nothing they can do about it. And I will just get into it because Ryan brought it up. The situation there where the Thunderbirds get a penalty, Tufte smokes McGing off the faceoff.
Right.
Wagner grabs him, drops his gloves, and basically forces Tufte to drop his and fight. And as Ryan said it, you just pulled the top goal scorer in the league off the ice for a 2-minute power play. What a difference in the game. That just shifted everything. And that is, you talk about heady veteran stuff. Man, the kid from the mayor of Walpole playing up against Providence, that was freaking awesome. And I love to see that from him. And that to me was a massive turning point in that game. And, again, I thought it was kind of strange that Providence went with Zajac and not DiPietro, who's just played really, really well against Springfield this season. I don't know what they must have played the night before. I don't know.
They did. DiPietro played the night before.
Who did they play?
So, I think it was Bridgeport. Okay,
so I guess for them it's six one way, half dozen the other. They're playing 2 teams below them. They don't really care as much as they don't analyze it like we do. So I'll give them a pass for that. But yeah, you would have thought that just looking at the numbers. Well, DiPietro on Springfield, so let's go with them. And Zajac looked a little leaky. A couple of those goals I bet he wants back. But even still, I've been saying this for years. Puck luck is created by hard work, and they got a lot of puck luck in that game because they were working hard. That's really what it's all about. When it's all you want to see as a fan.
Yeah, no, I mean, I loved this game. You get Akil Thomas and Felix Trudeau with their first goals with the Thunderbirds this season, and you get 2 goals from defensemen. And that Hunter Skinner, like you said, that leaky goal just crossed over the goal line there. But this game, I agree with you. It got a little nervous at the end when they made it 4-2. But for me, it wasn't because of the play. I thought Springfield, for the most part, was comfortable and in control. But you're just like, well, here's Providence. They literally don't lose at home. And so maybe they just have a miraculous finish to this game. But, here's Springfield now posting 42 shots on Providence. So again, when I'm talking about, I fully expect this team to be in the playoffs. This is kind of why. They're just not showing me. They're not intimidated by anything. They're not scared to play anyone. And they have not been making the same mistakes twice, if that kind of makes sense.
Totally.
They're being coached. The coaches are pulling the right strings. There's
players are listening. Players are buying in.
Players are listening, and now and maybe this was some of the addition by subtraction things. Is there now a lot more internal competition? I think there is from a goalie standpoint, and I think that's always healthy. And I think the goalies have come out and pretty much said that, we're going to go out, we're going to compete, and I want to play, but I know my role. And my role is, when my number is called, to play and be the best I can. And you make it impossible to put the next guy in. And that's what these goalies are doing. And is there more internal competition in this roster now with the lineups that they have? Maybe. But, an area of concern, you're 0 for 4 on Sunday. I think they were 0 for 5 or 0 for 6 on Friday against Lehigh Valley on the power play. So, I know that stuff ebbs and flows, but what saved Springfield on Sunday was that their penalty kill was 6 for 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they're, from a special team standpoint, it's not like they're drowning themselves. The power play is a little cold, but hopefully it heats up. And when better to heat up than literally right at the start of the playoffs. So hopefully that comes around, as it usually tends to do. But I think this week in a whole, 4 out of 6 points. But even again, losing in that first game, kind of the way they did, heartbreaking loss, being dominated, but still in it, heartbreaking loss, to turn around and pretty much dominate 2 teams that are were ahead of you in the standings, is in my opinion a great hockey week, and gives me nothing but confidence and high expectations for this team as in the last month of the season.
Yeah, totally. No, they needed to prove to Lehigh Valley they were better than them, and they did.
Yep.
And they need to, I mean, look, I'm not going to speak for anybody, but I got a feeling that of all the teams that are in the top 6 right now in the playoffs, the one that Providence wants to play the least is Springfield. I don't think that team wants any part of Springfield, because you got home ice, and Springfield has proved that they can go into the AMP in Providence and beat them.
If I'm not mistaken,
different, but
if I'm not mistaken, the way, because the Atlantic Division plays, the top 2 teams will get a bye.
Oh,
Providence and the Penguins
probably
will get a bye. 3 will play 6, 4 will play 5.
And 3 is who? Charlotte?
3 right now is Charlotte. 4 is Hershey. 5 is Bridgeport. 6 is Springfield. You want to find yourself, if you're Springfield, you want to find yourself in that 5 spot or even 4 spot. It's you're 3 points out, so it is reachable. You're not going to sniff 3, but there are 4 teams for the final 3 spots, and literally Hershey, Bridgeport, Springfield, and Lehigh Valley can find themselves anywhere 4, 5, 6, or 7.
And you have to keep in mind, too, that if you are in a 3-game series against Charlotte, the way that this league operates, all 3 games are in Charlotte.
Are they, though?
Yes, that's what they did last year. If it's a 3-game series and they have home ice, all 3 games are in Charlotte.
That's not
they don't
cool.
They don't want to pay the gas to fly them out or whatever.
That's not cool. I don't like that. But how
it is, which sucks.
You want to find yourself.
Yes, you definitely want
that 5 or 4 spot.
Definitely. But it's exciting to have these conversations, Matt. This is like, I mean, we're talking playoff hockey. The sun is shining. It was a beautiful day today. It's April. Like, let's go. Like, we're talking about playoff hockey here in April, which is awesome. We got a lot of other stuff we want to talk about too. But before we do, I want to mention the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning in Amherst, with its unique location in the center of Amherst, allowing for clients and groups to enjoy the social constructs of city life. Founder Teresa Dooley-Smith is a leader within the speech and language community, continuing to find innovative ways to meet the needs for all individuals. For more information, you can visit tdsspeech.com. You can give them a call at 835-0735. By MCU Training Center, it's your one-stop facility for all your training needs. Regardless of your talent level, MCU has room for you to improve your craft. They offer training for soccer, lacrosse, baseball, golf, hockey, floor hockey, field hockey, weight training, agility. If you're looking for kids to have a birthday party where they can run around and burn off all that energy, a great spot for it. Call 301-6040, or you can visit mcutrainingcenter.com. And by our buddies at Landscaping That Fits. I know it's like story time when I bring up Landscaping That Fits, but I had to get a massive tree removed in my yard. $4 freaking grand to get this thing out. And it was dead. It was just completely dead. It was eaten away by bugs. And they came and they had to do it with a crane and all this other heavy stuff. And like, I have just these holes now in my yard. You know, you can see crane lines in my grass. And I'm like, oh no. And so I'm going to have to get like a yard of loam, and I'm going to have to like even it out. I'm going to do the whole thing. And then I'm going to need it overseeded. And I'm not going to overseed it because I don't trust myself. I'm going to screw it up. It's a science, and I don't know what it is, but Rob knows the science. So the first thing I'm going to do once I get my loam is call Rob and say, Rob, fix me, brother, fix what ails me. And I know he's going to be a huge resource for that. So whether it is spring cleanup, overseeding, fertilizer, whatever it is that you need for your lawn, general mowing, you just want him to come by once a week and cut it. He can do it. Landscapingthatfits.com. And don't forget, you can use the promo code SRG10 and you can get 10% off of your fertilizer all summer long. And even heading into the fall, spring, summer, fall. That guy works 3 seasons for me is what he does. And it's worth every penny. So, and it's compared to the rest of them, it's not bad. So definitely hit up, especially if you get 10% off. So landscapingthatfits.com, promo code SRG10, 10% off your fertilization for the entire year of 2026. Whew. All right. We good on the games?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to touch about? It was good. It was a fun weekend of games, and we're going to have another fun week. Listen, from here on out, every game is going to be fun. Like this is going to be, like I said, what we ask for as fans. We just want to feel like we're in it in April. and we're in a good spot. So we don't have fan rants this week. It's just like I said, we've been just freaking flying around as dads and as coaches and as teachers and as everything else. We're just insanely busy, and we apologize. But we do have our, I don't want to bury the lead, we have our SRG GOAT championship matchup. And well, why don't you disclose the winner, and then I'll
well, yeah, we have a GOAT T-Bird, and a drum roll, please. Joel Hofer, your goalie, the goalie of St. Louis Blues. Joel Hofer is our greatest T-Bird of all time. Look, this was a fun little project we set about.
It was a great time.
You know, with the first month of the season, we were like, we can't talk for an hour about this team right now. We need to find something fun. 10-year anniversary. We figured, why the heck not? We made the bracket. There obviously were a lot of honorable mention type of players that we coulda, shoulda, woulda put in there, but we wanted to kind of just keep it top, you know, and that's it. Make it elite. If everybody's in, then nobody is, sort of thing. So, you know, we appreciate the feedback and the back and forth with our voting. Congratulations to Matthew Pekka for being the finalist on the offensive side. But Joel Hofer comes through with about 80% of the vote as your greatest T-Bird of all time. And I can't complain. Before we started, I kind of pictured this being the championship matchup. I truly, honestly did, even though I think Tommy Cross was our number one seed on the defensive side. I pictured this, and I thought this would be the championship matchup, Pekka versus Hofer. And I thought it would be a toss-up. Once the trade happened, I thought Hofer had it, and he didn't disappoint. You, the fans, you didn't disappoint. So we appreciate you chiming in. Joel Hofer, expect your prize in the mail shortly.
Yeah, we'll send it right out there.
I know you're listening, Joel, so we appreciate it. We'll send you your prize in the mail.
I just love that it coincides perfectly with the Final Four, which is right. We didn't even mean to do that. It's everyone now everyone's got a bracket of favorite mac and cheese, and yet we've been doing this thing since like November. So hats off to us. You're right, though. I do wonder if the numbers would have been a little different if the team was in this spot and Matthew Pekka was still on the roster.
Yeah.
Curious as to how that influenced and swayed the voters, but hey, I'm not going to beat you guys up.
It's all part of it, though. You know, it's all part of it.
Inclusive part of the deal. So, but yes, that's awesome. It sucks for me that was the one season I wasn't here. Was the year Joe Hofer went off. Of course it was. But yes, that was a lot of fun. We really do thank all you guys for getting involved in that. I did have one other thing that I just wanted to bring up that concerns me a little bit. I'm not thrilled about. You know how much I love this team, and I am not a paying customer, and I don't work in sales, and I don't work in social media, and I'm not a hockey player who has all kinds of weird superstitions. I saw the video that the Thunderbirds put out about playoff hockey. Get your tickets now for playoff hockey. It's a little early to be putting out videos about the playoffs when you are tied with the team who's not in the playoffs, and the only reason why you're in the playoffs is because you've played one less game than them. Do you want to sell tickets? Of course. Is it good marketing? Of course. Do you want to create a social media buzz? Of course. But we've had players that we've interviewed on the show where I've been told, I don't know if I've shared a lot of stuff with you, Matt, but I've been told, hey, don't talk about this.
Yeah.
This player gets really superstitious about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. Don't talk about X, Y, and Z. And this has happened like for years. And I'm like, okay, I'm respecting that. I'm not going to touch any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. At the same time, if I'm, I think back of when the Patriots played the Eagles, I think in the Super Bowl that they won, the Donovan McNabb year. And the Eagles had already planned out their parade route for after the Super Bowl. And Bill Belichick brought the whole team in, put it up on the big board. Okay, well, after the Eagles win the Super Bowl, they're going to start on State Street. They're going to take a left onto Crown Street. They're going to go, and he gave them the whole parade route to use as, fodder and motivation. And like, boy, if I'm Hershey, if I'm, Hartford, when it comes down to the last game of the season, if it's an issue, hey guys, let's watch the Thunderbirds playoff video. Like I'm showing that to the team to get them fired up. So I don't like giving other teams fodder. I don't like tapping into superstitions. I never like jumping the gun too early. I am the kind of person who doesn't gamble, because if I do, I would suggest you take the other team, because I'm just a horrible gambler. And not that I bet a lot, I just never get it right. So, yeah, I don't know. I saw that and was kind of like, oh boy, like, nah, I wouldn't do that.
The only thing I get what you're saying. I mean, this isn't an argument, because I kind of agree. I tend to agree with what you're saying. That being said, like, here I am at the opening of the show saying I fully expect them to be in the playoffs.
And so do I. And so do I. No doubt.
But I get your point. I do remember a few years back, I was at a game, and my ticket rep, Lauren, at the time, she found me walking the concourse. She's like, Matt, come on over. I just want to let you know we are opening our playoff sales. And at the time, I was kind of new as a season package holder. Wait a minute, like, what do you mean? And she goes, we just have a spot, and it's a pay. You can buy one, like, every playoff. This is going to be your seat for every home game, and you only have to pay if they get in, but this is going to hold your seat. So I just think from a sales point, and you pointed this out too, they have to sell tickets, right?
Sure do.
From the front office vantage point, and I don't know the details of what packages they're offering or anything like that, but I just think they get a jump on it. And if the team doesn't make it, then they refund your money, or you hold it. You can put money towards next year's tickets. I do know that. So, But I'm with you. And I probably not many players. Well, actually, I don't know.
I don't know. I can't. That's what I'm saying. I can't really speak to them.
I don't know if players are paying attention to social media like that.
They're certainly not listening to us. That's
yeah. Sure. They should. We've been right a few times.
A couple times.
We've been right a few times this year. We've actually had a pretty hot year.
We have it out here. But you know what? I do get it. Like it's like if you have a birthday party, you want RSVPs for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it from a sales perspective. I just thought that was maybe just, I don't know, a little aggressive. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, especially because you are on the outside looking at, like, do you think Hartford Wolfpack is doing that right now?
Right. Like, I mean, do you think
Lehigh Valley is on the outside? You're right on the line looking in, and you're like dipping your toe in the hot tub a little bit. You're like, I kind of want to go in. Is it going to burn me? I got to take my time. You're right. This is where the Thunderbirds are right now. So I get, like, it's a weird vibe. The year where Lauren came up to me, like, they were in the playoffs. We just didn't know their seed yet. Because that was my thing. Well, how do I know when the game is, when they're going to play? And she goes, that is the tough part. We need to secure your seat. And hopefully it's a game you can make, because we don't know when the game's going to be. We don't know who they're going to play. We don't know if game 1 or game 2. We don't know this yet, but we can secure your seat for the first playoff game. And I was like, I can't do that. I got 2 kids, a lot going on. But, so yeah, it does kind of feel a little weird, because, like I said, they are in no way, shape, or form mathematically, which is what matters, not necessarily our opinion. They are not securely in the playoffs yet. They got to keep winning. They got to put together maybe in 2 weeks. I might feel differently. If you're up in that 4 or 5 spot, or Lehigh Valley continues to slide, then I feel a lot better about it.
Sure.
But now I get your point.
It's one of those things that I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of, and I work, like, I teach marketing and stuff like that. And it's, never, also, like I said, I'm terrible at these things. That's why I don't try to make predictions and stuff. But the nice thing about it is that you are heading into what I think, we might have said this before, but this might be the best weekend of the year, because there's something on the line.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 massive fan returns.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's just these are 4 massive points. So we start Friday night, 7:00, Deuces Wild Friday, pregame concert by Buddy McEarns and Sam Bitten, Corey Schooneman, and the Hershey Bears come back to town. Now, I am not guaranteeing anything. However, I'm imagining that in the perfect world, Sam Bitten gets in a fight right off the faceoff. He comes to the penalty box. He sits down, and then he immediately stands up and gives me a hug. And that might be the first time a PA announcer has hugged a visiting player in the penalty box, maybe in the history of pro sports. So I'm sort of excited to hit that benchmark. And then, of course, the other one, Matthew Pekka coming back Saturday, 6:05 against the Syracuse Crunch. That's fun. It's Boomer's birthday bash. Might be your last chance to see oh my goodness, Blaze, the Connecticut Sun mascot. He always comes, and boy, oh boy, unfortunately, that might be the last for that. Amongst others, could be tons of mascot character appearances. Boomer's block party is happening at the Landing from 3 to 5 p.m., so make sure you come early, hang out, enjoy the block party. But just to look, Matt, at the games this weekend, what are your thoughts, your takes on Hershey and Syracuse?
Well, I don't think Hershey is not the same team, excuse me, that we're kind of accustomed to seeing. They're struggling a bit this year. They still have Clay Stevenson, and he's having a decent year. Record-wise, pulled it up right now. He's 15-12, but he's got a 2.7 goals against and a 9.09 save percentage. So he's always been a solid goaltender. He is a solid goaltender. I think the play in front of him hasn't been as strong as, fans are probably accustomed to. And let's not forget, way back when, the first win of the season came for the T-Birds came in Hershey against these Bears, a team that historically over the last 2 or 3 years have kind of owned the T-Birds. It's always been a game that I've kind of dreaded watching, or if I had something else to do, I'd get it done because I'm like, I don't want to watch them play the Bears. It was never.
It's a good time to fold laundry.
Yeah, it would be a game. I don't want to go to bed angry. I'll fold laundry while I'm watching the game. This one, again, the Bears are not. This is not your grandparents' Bears. This is, like I said, a team that kind of, it's not for poor goaltending, but I think the team in front of them just isn't playing as solid. I did pull up real quick. Corey Schooneman is having a pretty good year in Hershey, 22 points. He's a +3 in 54 games played, so he's playing well. Sam Bitten,
I will say. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. +3. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Continue. Sorry.
Oh, and I was just going to say Sam Bitten. Since that 2 goals in 3 games start for him has cooled off. 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points, -11 for Sam. A lot of penalty minutes. So I know I opened the season saying is Sam not want that role in Springfield? It kind of seems like he's got that role in Hershey. But I am excited to see him play because we've interviewed him and his brother, stand-up guys, great human beings, nice, always nice to the fans, always nice to my kids, nice to everybody. So I think this is just going to add a little bit of spunk and electricity clearly to the crowd. And I'll be honest, as much as I would love to see Sam take center ice for a scrap early in the game, from a pure hockey standpoint, I don't know if that's what Sam and Hershey needs, because this is going to be a pro Thunderbird crowd. It's not going to be a pro Hershey crowd. And do you really want them electric to see Sam fight again, whether he wins or I think the only one that would give him a real hard time would be Kessie. But Burns would stand in with them. Peterson would stand in with them. Skinner would stand in with them. I'm sure Skinner and Sam used to spar all the time at practice. I'm sure they probably talked over ways to fight, So as much as that would be sort of that come full circle moment and poetic justice to one last scrap, I just don't know if that would be a good thing. Right? You said, like, do you really, if you're the Bears,
from Hershey's perspective, they have something to play for. They're not here to put on a show. They need to win.
Right.
So putting on a show just does them no good in a visiting barn.
Now, but granted, and we know this to Ryan's point and your point you talked about when Wagner pulls Tufte off the ice for 5 minutes when you need goals, that's a good trade-off if you're Springfield. If Sam Bitten goes to the box for 5 minutes and Quentin Burns is going in, one of our top defensemen, good trade-off. Dylan Peterson, right? If it's Cale Kessie, that's a wash. And no disrespect to either one of those guys. Don't come at me.
Please.
You win. It's right. So, but that's a fair trade-off. But does that ignite the crowd? And we know this Thunderbird team always shows up for the specialty nights, shows up for when you got special guests in the arena. When there's electricity in the Thunderdome, the Thunderbirds play off that. So from a Hershey standpoint, do you want to contribute to that right off the face-off? I don't know. If it happens organically in a game after a big hit or a loud hit like that, I fully expect a possibility. So, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. But I am excited for this. I would expect to see Clay Stevenson in goal. I'm not aware of any injuries or anything like that. So I would expect to see Clay Stevenson in goal for the Thunderbirds here on Friday night. Is it Georgie, who hasn't played in a little while? Is it Zarenko, who has had 2 of these last 3 games? Cranley's played dominating, so this is where that inner competition, I think, is important for this team. Otter is going to pick the goalie who, whether it be matchup based or, a scouting report, or this guy just had a stellar week of practice, it's his time to play. I don't know how he's going to play. Quite honestly, to me, it's like a wild card. Do you think that helps the Thunderbirds? Are you, at this point in the season, if you're Hershey, is your scouting report different for different goalies? Or are you just playing your game
necessarily? I think you just want to play your game.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's not like you're playing, if you're playing Bridgeport and one goalie is 6'1" and the other guy's 6'8".
Yep.
Maybe you got to strategize because you're facing a walrus. You know what I mean? And I don't think that none of our guys really are that gargantuan. They're not power forward, NBA power forwards. So there is that. So I'm not sure. I think it's going to be more about, I think this whole game is going to be the 10 guys in front of the goalies. I think that's kind of what it's going to come down to in this. And I'm looking at the rosters, and their top players are good players. They're also young and like rookies. So, Ilya Protas and Andrew Crystal, they're both rookies. They're labeled as rookies. Your top players are Wagner, Koskamaki, Dubé, Dylan Peterson. When we talk about the box score and the stats, the numbers, you're looking at guys with experience. And, even just heading into the playoffs, I think that's going to be the big advantage for Springfield to get there. Once you get there, we'll see how it all shakes out. But when your top 5 players are all guys that have been in this league and have been there and have done it, that's going to be a big difference maker. And so I think that this weekend is one of those times where you look and you go, okay, our guys sort of know what it takes. I even mentioned Callie Rosen, who's been your best defenseman all season. So, I think that's going to factor in a little bit too. So we'll have to keep our eye on it. But I'm excited for this weekend. It's going to be great.
It's great. And then Saturday against Syracuse. And of course, you I don't know if you mentioned or not, but the reunion with Reese Newkirk. No, I'm kidding. Matthew Pekka.
Reese Newkirk. That guy.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there you go. Matthew Matthew Pekka comes back into the Thunderdome. So I'm sure, if there's an opportunity to make him an honorary captain, or he comes out for the puck drop, that would be nice. I would like to see that. That would be nice. See him and Wagner take that honorary puck drop. But I would expect nothing but class from the Thunderbird fans and cheering Matthew Pekka for everything he's done for this organization. And that I think is, quite honestly, a tougher matchup. Didn't look well, didn't go too well the last time they were in Syracuse. But this is a team now who has locked up,
feeling it,
their standings right in Syracuse. I think they've kind of locked into that 2 seed in the North Division. And I think it's the top 6 in the North Division as well, which means it's the same thing. The top 2 seeds get the bye. 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. I think. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. And then, so if you're Syracuse, we're all human. And there is that added element of you're playing for your season, your life. And we're just kind of playing because you're on our schedule.
Yeah.
Right. Like, Of course, nobody's going to roll over. Nobody's going to give you a win, but there's going to be a little bit more. The Syracuse locker room is going to be a little bit more relaxed at the start of the game. And that's not to say they're not going to be shooting and trying to score. But again, when you're playing for your season life, you're playing for you're on your last few breaths to make the playoffs. You have to dig deep and find that extra reserve in your tank. Syracuse is just going to play. So, I will say that's kind of where I'm hanging on to. Like, this is their chance to get Syracuse, because it's a tough matchup.
And this is going to be a tough team to play physically against. Connor Geeky's on this team. He's not only scoring points, but he's like 6'5". And again, I'm just going off of what the league's website. Boris Kachuk has an X. I guess he's not available. Jared Tenorti was here in Springfield. That guy loves fighting people. So they got some big boys. Curtis Douglas is 6'8", and a forward. So they got some guys on this roster that are not afraid of getting physical. So you might have to be aware of that as well. By the way, Matthew Pekka, since joining Syracuse, 8 games, 9 points, +2.
Yep.
So he is playing well as well. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be I think an emotional weekend for the players, emotional weekend for the fans. Who handles it better? I think that's going to be definitely a storyline added into this weekend. But this might be one of the most exciting weekends of hockey here in Springfield we've had. Just post-pandemic. When was that? Was that run post-pandemic? 2021, 22?
It was.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, it was. But no, I mean, I get since then. Since then, yeah. So, this has been great, Matt. I think for a couple of cranky old men, I think we got through this pretty well. So we want to appreciate all the fans, all the people watching and listening for hanging out with us for this. We want to thank our friends at the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning, tdsspeech.com, by Mascon United Training Center in Agawam, right over the bridge from the Big E there at mcutrainingcenter.com. And by Landscaping That Fits. Go to Landscaping That Fits. Use the promo code SRG10 to get 10% off of your fertilization for the entire year of 2026. And as always, Matt, thanks to, the people that contribute, that listen, that follow, that share, that like, that say hi to us in the concourse, that talk to me in the middle of Stop and Shop, in the middle of the produce aisle. Dude, we love it. We love just being a part of this small community that is minor league hockey in Springfield, Massachusetts. It may be small, but we are mighty, and it's cool to be a part of it. Oh, just sorry, one other quick thing. Yep. I saw we are at 92.5% capacity attendance for this season to this point. That is awesome, guys. That is well done.
Awesome, and that includes I keep bringing up the Halloween game, which was
hey, keep bringing those hype videos, front office. Keep them coming, social media team.
That's it, man. Like, keep showing up, guys. Keep being loud. Keep supporting this team. I think we're in a really good spot. There's a couple of things I heard shouted from the rafters in the last couple of games that I laughed at, but I was like, fella, like, come on, ease up. Let's keep being positive. Let's bring the energy, bring the noise. Let's let these players know that we're here and we're loud and we're ready for playoff hockey.
Absolutely. Thank you, the fans. Keep the likes, the subscribes, the follows coming. Share with your friends. It's only a month left. We've only got a few episodes left this season, but let's bring some new fans in as well. Thank you to everyone who was voting on our GOAT series. Congratulations, Joel Hofer. You are the TBird GOAT forever, I guess.
Until 10 years from now, we do it again.
But no, we do appreciate you, everybody, for contributing to that and being a part of that bracket. That was fun. Look, a big weekend. We just talked about it. Friday and Saturday, 2 big games. Wins, points are on the board. Points are needed. Familiar faces will be in the Thunderdome. Let's sort of spoil those reunions, right? Let's get some wins, T-Birds. Let's go, T-Birds.